Hello, I'm Roger Wakefield, lead AP, the expert plumber. So plumbing live Q&A with me. Yeah, right here, you're there. So if learning plumbing by listening, getting good value, getting good content is something you're interested in, if giving your opinion and receiving the opinion of others is something you're interested in, you may be in the right spot. Now, if you came here looking for something specific, you might jump over to the YouTube channel, search through those videos, but it's not just me here. It's a great community, some good people, and I see Sean Strong's in here already. This is a good spot to hang out. If you're interested in getting into the trades, interested in getting better at the trades, starting your own company, or maybe even growing your business, this is a good spot to hang out, learn, and meet with other people. So I'm going to jump into the chat real quick and see how everybody's doing. Happy Monday. I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. So let's look in here. So Joe T, HVACR, how we doing? Got to do some light plumbing on an ice machine and look over the operation. Good for you. I'm going to try and move my screen around just a little bit. There we go. Good to see you in here. Tom Pelletier, I guess. How are you doing? Good to see you. Mr. Sean Strong. Ice makers are gross. Ice makers can be gross. If you've ever worked on one that is just really funky, you know what we're talking about. If you haven't, your day's coming. One day you'll get there, and I hope you enjoy it. Jyoti said this one was at our school lab, so it wasn't too bad. Good for you. Ron Lovell from Ottawa. How are you doing, brother? How's everything going in Canada? It's funny because I was talking about that today. That there's a Providence in Canada where I have a friend who's an iron worker. And she literally said that her Providence was locked down so tight that you were only allowed to leave and hang out with one person at a time. And it had to be the same person all the time. If you had a family, you weren't able to leave and go hang out with other people. But here's the thing, too. She also said that the stores in her community were literally locked down tight, that they had areas roped off where they'd say this is not essential. So, Ron, was it that bad where you're at or not? And are things opening back up? Mr. Sean Strong, good to see you in here. I'm going to be making an announcement a little bit later. You know, man, when you piss off 62,000 plumbers, you got to do something about it. And I think I mentioned it last week. I sent out a text that didn't go out the way it should have. Actually, I sent out a voice call. And as y'all can tell, I don't have much of a voice right now. So I don't know what's up. But I sent out a message, voice message, robocall last week. And I had a little issue. They didn't go out as fast as they were supposed to because people kept calling back saying, hey, I have a missed call. So what happened is it didn't work very well. And what I mean by that, and as you can see, we're doing I owe you an apology and a beer party. And I'll talk more about that later. But the cool thing about it is, I found out that you can't send out 62 voicemail messages all at the same time. So I'm gonna make up for that, and we're gonna try to do what we can do. Joe T says, yeah, and look, ice makers get neglected, out of sight, out of mind. Conkle City Farm, how are we doing? Good to see you in here. Hello, Miss Michelle. How are you? Great to see you in here. Michelle and I were actually in a training last week in Alpharetta, Georgia. So it's wonderful to see you in here. And Michelle, as you see, this is my restream package here, and you get to see what we do and how we do it. So Tom says, not a plumber, but I've done some plumbing in my past. An HVAC technician right now, roughly 17 years, and love the channel. Well, number one, thank you for being here. Uh, Tom, I really do appreciate that. I'm also a certified HVAC technician here in Texas. Now we're almost up to 50 people, so I'll go ahead and do it. Anybody in here right now? Yes, Tom, I pissed people off by calling them at 3 a.m. It wasn't on purpose. Anybody in here right now, do me a favor. Just put a comment in where you're from and what you do. And I know I can see Edward says he's a plumber from local 230. Good to have you in here. The neat thing is I have people from all around the country. I have people from all around the world, to be honest. What I'll tell you is if you'll just put in where you are, what you do, why you do it, stuff like that. I love to see that in there. Hello from Michigan. Absolutely. And Michelle, I didn't get to talk to you much about Michigan the other day. I actually, I used to go up to Ann Arbor and go up there for an instructor training program. So I'd fly into Detroit, drive over to Ann Arbor, and I got to tell you some of my favorite restaurants are there. Neil Wilkerson, how are you? Good to see you in here. Change that up. How is it? Oh, I don't know why I hit it in the wrong spot. So thank y'all. Good to see y'all in here. Good afternoon, Neil. Noah Lepek, happy Monday to you, sir. Raccoon 143, good to see you in here. If 143 means I love you, I've seen that before. I like that. 9-ball and 8-ball. Man, that's 17-ball right there. Soy Sussex says, had to make some makeshift plumbing in my hotel in Reno, Nevada to avoid the charges. That means you messed something up or did something. Good for you, though. Matthew Anderson, working as a plumber's helper in Minnesota. Interviews for Minnesota, St. Paul, Minnesota. There you go. Union are coming up soon. Good for you. Minnesota plumbing, something else. Joe Mathis, hello from Chicago. Tom says, is mostly everything on slab in Texas. We have basements up here in Connecticut. Look, we don't have many basements at all. Almost everything that we have down here is slab on grade. That's why we specialize in slab leaks, leak detection, and tunneling up under there. Ron Level says it just got their city back after 24 days. I'll tell you what, Ron, it's probably not bad as bad where you're at as where she is, because she's literally said that it's been this way for months. They couldn't even leave Canada. It's rough. Lewis Jones from Liverpool, good to have you in here. Dexter Bernard says, hey, Roger, just tuned in from the Caribbean, Trinidad, and Tobago. Man, now see, I want to be you when I grow up because I love to scuba dive. So, man, you're living my dream. My dream is to one day have a house on the ocean and literally, man, be able to go scuba diving every day. Can you imagine getting up in the morning, going in and filling your tank because you got your own compressor, throwing on your gear, throwing your tank over your shoulder, and just walking off into the water and going? That's my dream. Matthew Anderson says, applied for the St. Paul Union a couple of months ago. They interviewed over 200 people and only let in 25. Why is it that the demand for plumbers is so high? Matthew, this is a good question. And I'm actually going to pin that up there because here's my deal. The demand is so high because right now there are, let's say, for every 10 people retiring from the trade, there's only 4 or 5 getting back in. Now, the unions are set up. They can only let in so many people a year. Now, here in Dallas, I think that they can bring in about 50 or 60 per class because the first year they split them up. The second year, they weed out part of them. So if I'm not mistaken, that's how many they bring in. What I would ask you is How big is your classroom? Is it a combi union or is it just plumbing? Because I mean, think about it. If you're just plumbing, ours was a combi union. And if we're doing 25, or if we're doing about 50 and you're doing 25 plumbing, 25 pipe fitting, about the same amount. Merchandise number 5. Good to see you in here. Sean, brother, taking care of business. If you have not joined yet, go to check out the Discord and the subreddit. I tell you what, guys, the stuff that I see in there, and people send me messages all the time, like pictures or videos or stuff, and I always point them over there. I'm like, man, this would be great. Go post it over here, and pretty cool stuff. But guys, think about that. You said a while ago, why is it hard to get in the union if supply and demand is so skewed, and it's going to get worse for right now. And let me tell you, the last time I did research, 900,000 unfilled construction trade jobs across the U.S. 900,000. And right now, every year, for every 10 tradesmen that retire, only 4 or 5 get back in the trades. It's going to get worse, guys. But really, it gets better for us because that means the ones of us that are in the trade, that are doing good in the trade, that are really just kicking tail and taking names, we're going to be making good money. Really good money. Kyle Watson says, start my plumbing, gas fitting, and drain laying apprenticeship in less than 2 weeks. Watch all your videos from New Zealand. Well, number one, welcome. If you need me to apprentice for you, hook a brother up. I'll come over to New Zealand, hang out with you. It is what it is. And good for you. I'm glad. Kyle, I got to tell you, I love seeing people get into the trades. I think it is phenomenal. I think that the opportunity that we have in the trades, I mean, we can work for others. We can work for ourselves. The opportunities are just there. And I really think the further we go, the average age for, I don't know if it's masters or maybe it's just the average age for plumbers in Texas right now is 58 years old. Man, you young guys got to start getting in here because the opportunity in the future is going to be amazing for y'all. Tom says, you pissed off people by calling at 3 a.m. Yes, I did. So let me tell you what happened. And I'm going to explain it real quick because I don't want to just dwell on it. But what I'll tell you is I set up this robocaller with a company, a very good company, a great reputation and all this. Well, I'm an overdoer. I'm a little bit extra. So my problem is that I end up trying to do 62,000 people at one time. Actually, 62,007. Now, the problem with that is, man, it started great. Literally, first time I checked in, we've got 5 outgoing calls per second. I do the quick math in my head. I'm like, man, we're going to be done before 6 o'clock. We're great. The problem is when plumbers, especially a lot of them being business owners, get phone calls, first thing they want to do is just call back. When you've got a robocaller calling out at 5 calls per second and it's getting in about 4 or 5 calls a minute, it starts slowing the system down. So at 6 o'clock in the evening, it was really set to schedule it to shut off at 7. By 6 o'clock, it said, we're done. All the outgoing calls are in the queue, ready to go. What the computer didn't realize enough to tell anybody was, hey, we've got so many incoming calls that we can't make all these outgoing calls. So the problem that we had is every time a call would come in, it would slow the machine down. So those calls that were in the queue ready to go out before 6 o'clock didn't go out till 1, 2, and 3 o'clock in the morning. So yes, Tom, I pissed off a whole lot of people. So I'm going to buy them a beer. I'll talk more about that here in a little while. Michelle, thank you very much. Look, I have fun doing what I do. I really do. I get to talk about plumbing. I get to help people change their life because there's some people in here that don't get out that don't have an opportunity they don't know anybody in their family that can help them get a job in the trades. So I love being able to teach people how to learn their way up. And I think it's great. Parker Hemphill says, does dripping the sinks actually help the pipes not freeze? Drip both hot and cold if it does help. Yes. Yes, it does. And yes, you do. I've got a bar sink upstairs that I run the lines overhead in the attic too. So when we get cold, I go up and make sure that bar faucet's dripping hot and cold because I want both those water lines moving just a little bit. But yes, sir, it does help. Michael P. Baker says, homeowner, you are my idol. I hope that means I helped you fix something and helped you save some money. Banana Planet 666 says, your girlfriend keeps making plumber jokes when we are getting intimate. How do I get her to stop? Just show her how well you are, how good you are at laying pipe. I mean, a good plumber can lay pipe very well. I've been doing it for years. Sean, can I get a little support here? You know what? Everybody likes plumber jokes. What does she do? Start looking up jokes about her trade. You got to come up with something, but you can't let it get under your skin. And I'll tell you what, and this is funny because here's the deal. When I was much younger, matter of fact, when I was in my 20s and was single, when I'd go out to a bar and tell people I was a plumber, girls would be like, "Oh God." So I felt bad about it. I literally started telling people that I was in construction, and I felt better about that. To be honest, I didn't like it. It's like, you know what, man, I'm a plumber and I'm proud of it. So finally I thought, you know what, if they don't like the fact I'm a plumber, let them find something else. Let them find somebody else. And I just started saying, hey, you know what, I'm a plumber. If you don't like it, I'm the best pipe layer in this town. Parker Hemphill says, Tennessee engineer. Got Lewis from, there we go. Got Luis Medina from Minnesota. Good to see you in here. Mr. Brian Robinson, journeyman from Aubrey, Texas. Good to see you. Sean Strong, yeah, he just says he's a model. He's actually a nude model in LA, and that's not Los Angeles. That's Louisiana. Matthew, probably made you cough and Coke come up your nose, didn't I? Matthew Anderson's Minnesota. Good to see you. And Sean says, I do it for the money. We do a lot of things for money, brother. Noah Lepek says, Noah here from New Jersey, looking to get into the plumbing trade, finishing your associate's degree first. Man, good for you. I like that. Number one, and in Texas, man, they've made a lot of changes in the latest legislative session, and I love it because they've got it set up now. If you already have a degree, you can go to like a trade school, and man, it can bump you up on your plumbing license and help you get it quicker. I think it's fantastic. Michael P. Baker says Grand Prairie unemployed at the present and can fix anything. I love it. Concord City Farm says Indiana foundry worker metal pourer. Metal pourer, maybe. I like. Stop dragging the file. Stop dragging the file. Look at 142 times 100. All right. Perfect. Charlie, good to have you in here. Tom says my first job ever was actually replumbing a waste pipe, and I fell in love. I got to tell you, it's funny because I love plumbing. I love what I get to do. I love building things, but I also love fixing them. I love the fact that I can walk into a building and with the right tools and materials, I can tell you what's wrong with it. It's pretty cool. Jeremy says I plumb my whole house. It was my first time plumbing anything. Just did it with the guidance of an older man whose arm was broken. Good for you. Michael J. Hey, retired police officer from just outside Chicago. Great to see you. I don't know what part of Chicago. Have you ever heard of Bishop Plumbing? One of my former friends, he passed away, used to own that. A great guy, wonderful mentor. Michelle lives in Ann Arbor. Swing by anytime to grab a beer. So, Michelle, if you go downtown, and you'll know where I'm talking about, there's the Italian restaurant. I think it's called Salvo's or Salo's, something like that. And then a seafood restaurant right next door. And literally when I walked into the Italian restaurant, because remember, I'm only there once a year, I would always order the lasagna dinner and the fettuccine Alfredo dinner. And they'd look at me and it's like, sir, that's 2 dinners. It's like, yeah, I know. I only get here once a year, so I'm going to eat everything I can. And man, I did. I could eat them both, but I wouldn't get a dessert. It's just that and maybe a cold beer, maybe some iced tea, something like that. Oh, grab a bite. I'm sorry, grab a bite. I get it. Caucus City Farm, Indiana foundry worker, metal pourer. Yeah, that's what I thought you meant. I'm just checking. Tom says, can't see myself doing anything else. Just absolutely love my job. Now, see, that's one thing. And look, what we talk about, we talk about a lot of different things here, but we always talk about learning. What are you learning? What are you learning to make your life better? Because if you got in the trades and you've just got a license and you haven't done anything else, what are you learning to grow? Are you positive? Do you always have that freaking positive mindset where you're like, look, I'm capable of anything? Are you optimistic? Are you optimistic about your future? Are you one of these people that are like, look, man, if I keep learning and keep growing, look what I can do? Are you constantly recruiting for the trades? I used to always carry business cards when I was an instructor and I worked for another company. But what I did is when I'd go to the grocery store at night, if there's a kid in there not stocking, and I just kind of walk down the aisle and look and be like, okay, kids hustling, kids doing this. And I say kid, male or female, it don't matter to me. I'd be looking at her, and if they are hard at it, I'd walk up and ask them, are you going to do this forever? Well, of course, they always laugh at you then. And that's fine. I've been laughed at before. But they'd say, no, I'm just in high school or just graduated, don't know what I'm going to do yet, whatever the case is. I'd ask them, what if I told you about a job where you can make 90 grand a year? Would you be interested? And they're like, yeah. So then I just hand them a card and say, look, I know you're busy and I don't want to take you away from work. Don't want you to get in trouble. But I'm in the union and I'm a plumber, but plumbers, pipe fitters, welders, HVAC technicians, things like that, we train people. They make good money. If you're interested, give me a call. So guys, that's a great way to recruit. And if you're a plumber, do you understand that plumbers protect the health of the nation? And you can listen to electricians talk about how good they are. They're not. You can listen to HVAC technicians talk about how good they are. They're okay. Roofers, man, you got to be crazy to be up on a roof all day. Plumbers are the smartest people. Can I get an amen? It's probably in there somewhere. So anyway, guys, really, I'm just having fun. But look, you've got to understand plumbers protect the health of the nation. And then as much crap as I give the other trades, man, love the trades. Love what we do. We're the most blessed people in the world. We get to build and repair America and make it better every day. So I'll get off my soapbox now. Jeremy Mesker says, from Baltimore, Maryland, but living in Knoxville, Tennessee. I make headlights and taillights for many makes and models of cars. Jeremy, that's cool. Actually, this last week, I was speaking in Alpharetta for a training. I ended up speaking there. And one of the people there is like, Roger, I want you to come out and teach us how to do social media. So, and he owns a marketing company. So it's something we're looking at. Joe Mathis the third says restaurants. You should try Chicago. You can get anything you have the taste for, and it's good. You know what? It's funny you mentioned that, Joe. I want to go to Chicago. I've wanted to for years. Is this a good time right now? Because I know it's kind of cold, but I'm one of these people for a weekend getaway. I would love to just hop on a plane one Friday, fly up there, spend Friday night, hang out all day Saturday, do something fun Saturday night, and then sometime Sunday get up and head back. So, man, I would love it. Yeah, there you go. Provided you know the spots. Well, I'll tell you what, Joe, Dallas has got some amazing restaurants. Again, if you know where to go. I think Dallas, man, I love Dallas. Great Mexican food, great Italian food. You can have anything. Plumbing Immortal says, do you grout or silicone your toilet installs? I silicone. I love a guy that can do great grout work. Somebody that can put a bed in, wipe it, make it look good. I do grout. I do silicone because I silicone about 85, 90% of it. I always leave the back open. That way, if it does come loose, they move around, it leaks under it, anything like that, it's got a place to come out, and hopefully the homeowner can see it. Ricky Neal says, do you offer a warranty? Absolutely. You've got to know what your product is, what you're working with. So the warranties differ. The warranties vary on different things. But yes, sir. Part of having a warranty is what makes you a good company. Tom says, nobody wants to work with these government handouts. And I was talking about that earlier. It's terrible, and the trades are very viable and profitable. Every youngster should be thinking about the trades. And Tom, man, I completely agree with you. I really think I do. And Sean will tell you, I've been talking about this for a long time now. I think plumbers are going to be making about $100 an hour in the next 5 years on their check. But yeah, it pays, and it's only going to get better. Watch this. They gave me something. I'm going to go ahead and play with it. Opinion to be heard and value the opinion of others. Do you enjoy a freaking awesome experience and love your customers and want to take better care of them? And do you love receiving information in a systematic process? If you said yes to any of these, I'm going to ask you to subscribe to the channel and tell 4,000 of your closest friends about it so they can come subscribe too. I hope you like that. As you can tell, my throat's kind of bothering me today, so I'm drinking lots of water. Nice to have a button. You know, Sean Strong is the man. Says, holy smokes, 58. That's insane. Yeah, I'm old. Because I fit right in there. All right. TSG 761. What's the worst job you had to do? Man. You know, there's been a couple of bad ones. And we were talking about this with my guys the other day. And I feel really bad because the worst one I ever did, I didn't even do. I walked into a house or walked into an open area apartment building. And what I mean by that is literally walked into an apartment building. It was Section 8 housing, and there was a corridor from one end to the other. And you walked in, both doors are open. You walk in, everybody's doors are open. And I mean, literally, you're just looking in people's living rooms. And when I got in front of the house that had the problem, you could tell. It stunk so bad. And what I did is I walked in. The lady didn't even get up. She sat on the couch. She said, it's back there. And I walked in, went back to it, and I walked in this bathroom. And guys, all I can tell you is it was so bad, it was piled up. People had just kept using it. Nothing would flush. There was paper and everything thrown near the trash can. And when you first walked in the unit, you could smell it. It was that bad. And I walked in, I looked at that. I walked right back to my truck. I called my office, said, hey, y'all need to get somebody out here. I ain't doing this. And they said, yes, you are. I said, watch me. And I feel bad because really that's the only plumbing job I've ever not done in my life. Later, I did stuff that's probably been as bad or worse, but I just couldn't do it. Michelle says, best way to learn by doing it and from a master. You know, and I love that because anybody that you can watch and learn from, and that's why I love teaching people what I do, because I've made the mistakes. I've done this for years. So thank you very much. Dexter Bernard says, Roger, you have no idea how your channel helps people. I am taking in all the info as much as possible. Well, thank you. What I will say, Dexter, if you like what I'm doing, please tell 4,000 of your closest friends. You know, guys, if y'all do, and Dexter, I'll ask you like I ask everybody else, you know, are you subscribed? When you watch it, do you give me a thumbs up? Do you share it with other people that you know that are in the trades that may like to learn some of these things? And I have all kinds of trades people watch us, not just plumbers, but You know, do you do the things to show YouTube, hey, I like this channel? Because then YouTube helps promote it to other people. Tom says, I would love to start my own business. Any tips or pointers? I love helping people get heat and air conditioning. Absolutely satisfies me as a human being and brings me joy. Tom, look, I'm right there with you. That's why I love my job. I do. I get to help people. But here's what I'll tell you. Anybody in the trades that is even thinking about opening their own business, start working on it now. Start thinking about how you're going to do things. What kind of business are you going to run? Start taking notes. Create a notebook. Hey, when I own my own company, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm not going to do. And it does. It makes all the difference in the world. Alex Ramirez says, can I start doing side jobs with journeyman license and business license? Not in Texas. In Texas, you've got to either be a responsible master plumber or hire one. Tom says, I've been training a few apprentices, and that brings me much more joy. Should I just become an apprentice trainer or what? If that's what you want to do is just train apprentices, yes. But my thing is, why not start a company and then train your apprentices and other journeymen that maybe didn't learn from somebody as good as you? If you look at it like that, it can open up all kinds of great opportunities. Sean Strong says, should have been an electrician, show up to remove the shorts and check the box. Man, I like that. I like that. Yeah. And then he says, let's keep it PG. That's a pretty good one. I like that. Nightbot says, become a tuber turd. You got to love it. If you're enjoying the stream, don't forget to like and share with a friend. So we've got almost 50 people in here. We've had over 50, and I got 28 likes. I'm doing about 60% right, I guess. Polly says, Paul and Robin Ron with Ron Plumbing in Tampa. Thanks for all your insight. Opened doors 4 months ago and listened together a lot. Thanks for all your new business advice. Number one, Polly, y'all are more than welcome. Here's what I'll tell you is find mentors, find coaches, find people you can trust. I was actually down in Tampa. Gosh, when was I in Tampa? November, I think. It was real nice. Man, went and sat out on some very nice waterfront restaurant. Actually, that was in Sarasota. But man, it's beautiful down there. I love that area. Jonathan East, his worst job ever as an apprentice was climbing into the septic truck to clean it out. After that, poop was no big deal. Man, you're right there. Those septic trucks are nasty. Yes, of course, I've heard of Bishop Plumbing. I was in Mount Prospect. Michael, I got to tell you, Robert Melko was a great guy. He owned that company for many years, and man, I thought the world of him. Nathaniel B says, do union and non-union apprenticeships differ much? Absolutely. A union apprenticeship, you have a training program. You go to school at least 2 nights a week. Some of them are set up where they do it like 1 day a week or 1 week a year. It's different ways to set up. And it may be 1 week a month. But, I'm lucky because I started with some really good plumbers. And they spent the time to teach me the right way to do things. And when you work with people like that, it makes all the difference in the world. There's great plumbers in open shop, and there's some bad plumbers in the union. Just because they're union don't mean they're good people. Don't mean they're good plumbers. I love that the union has a training program. The union has a great insurance package. And it really does have some great instructors. Bad thing about the union, it's got some instructors that suck. It's got some instructors that are there just for the money. My local here in Dallas kept promising me a bunch of stuff they never did. When I called the national local, they said, yeah, we can't control what the locals, the lower level independent locals tell you. So my thing is that there's a lot of bad things about the union too. Open shop, you don't get that hands-on training. You don't walk into a classroom where the instructor has supposedly been trained to help teach what they're teaching. So, man, it all depends. Michael J says you've helped me out a bunch. Good. I'm very glad that you've learned something here. Tom says if you don't learn something new today, the day's wasted. I told my son that, and he respects it to me daily. Love that boy. Good for you. I like that. And here's the deal, and this is something that I talk about all the time. Learn your way up. And guys, this is something I've been mentioning for years, but I had to learn to do it. Sean and I have talked about this. When I got in to plumbing, I just knew I wanted to be a plumber. I didn't know what kind of plumber. I didn't know the difference in commercial and residential, service and new construction, union and non-union. I didn't even know there was a union here in Dallas. But what I'll tell you is that most tradespeople, when they get in and they get that license, whether it's an electrician, whether it's a plumber, whether it's an HVAC tech, they get that license and they start getting complacent. Hey, I got in it to be a plumber. Now I'm a plumber. And there's better ways to do it. You can learn your way up to a foreman, a superintendent, a project manager. And that's why I said a while ago, look at your end game. Where do you want to be? Where do you want to be 3 years, 5 years, 20 years from now? If you want to run your own business, start learning how to run your business. Start learning what it takes to motivate people, to manage people. How do you order materials? How do you keep it out in front of them? How do you do a takeoff? How do you do a takeoff properly? How do you walk onto a job and have everything you need if you're doing residential service? There's a lot to it, but man, learning every day, learning how to get better, how to become a better person. And it doesn't have to be just about your trade. I study leadership. I study management. I study motivation. I study so many different things to try to help people. And that's what it's all about. So, Tom, I love that. Dexter Bernard says, amen, bro. Plumbers do protect the health of the nation. Yes, they do each and every day. Sean says median income is in western Nebraska, where he's at is $49,000 a year. He made 60 last year. The trades pay. Sean in Dallas, you'd have made about 100, 120. Might have cost you a little more to live here, but you'd love it. Michael J says no Chicago till it warms up. I believe you on that. I've always, and my dad was in the Navy, so I've always wanted to come down and go to Navy Pier. I'm one of these people, when I go to town, I look for the best restaurant. I want to know, number one, what is the best restaurant, but also what is the best steakhouse. I love a good steak. So I really love the fact traveling around of going to steakhouses in each place that I go and just try to find an amazing steak restaurant. Eric Santos says, at the age of 29, I've been thinking about trades, been watching your videos, and I feel inspired to be a plumber here in Fort Worth, Texas. Number one, good for you. Here in Texas, guys, we have an amazing opportunity because we need people in the trades. And I'm in Dallas, where our office is in Richardson. And I'm telling you, we're always looking for good people. Michael P. Baker says Chicago South Loop Club Buffalo Wings. All right, I might have to take a picture of that. Just because I always want to try to remember things like that. Johnson, Eric, get on the Discord and we can talk about it. Guys, those of y'all that don't know Sean Strong, number one, follow him on Instagram, boom_the plumber. Sean helps run the subreddit. He built and runs the Discord group. Great guy. And Sean, I need to see what you're doing March the 5th, maybe. Those of y'all that hadn't seen it, I'll pull it up here in a minute. Yes, I made a mistake. And here's what I've done is I've offered to buy all the plumbers in Texas a beer if they'll come see me. So let me see. Eric says, yeah, give him a second. Quentin Belmonte says, continue service work or join the union to obtain your journeyman license. Number one, Why can't you get your journeyman license doing service work? To me, it's not a if and or. Uh, where are you located, Quentin? Because here in Texas, I did open shop. I did residential construction, then new service, then got my journeyman license before I ever joined the union. Then when I did, I made more money. So that could go however you want it to go. Dylan Grabby says pest control too. Look, anything, and don't get me wrong. I know there's construction trades, but guys, most of us in here are blue collar workers. We're either in construction, in the trades, pest control. If you walk into somebody's house and help take care of things, yeah, I think you're a trades type person. Not construction trades, trades. We've all got things that we do. Andy says, I went to open shop as a helper, been doing it for 4 months. I've picked up a lot in this short time. What are some ways I can learn more outside of work? I want to do plumbing long term. Well, number one, you started in a great spot. Uh, Man, I just saw today, I've got 777 videos and 50 million views. And that literally just happened. And I want to see, I might be able to do this. Y'all know me, I'm always trying to do something new, and I do it on air. So if the world messes up, understand I was just trying to do something cool. Oh, that's the wrong one. So I'm going to click on this right here and go right here. Now let's see if we can do 2, 3, that. Looky there. So this is what our channel's done. That's I'm doing this because I love that you want to do it long term. We've got 777 uploads. We had 750 on the 4th. We just hit those 50 million views. And I got to tell you, that's something I get excited about. The 420,000 subscribers is great, but the 50 million views, to me, that's what it's all about. That means people are learning. That means people are coming back and watching. So thanks to each and every one of you. So if you want to do plumbing long-term, Andy, and get in here, watch 777 videos. Watch them again. I talk about different things in different ones, but you have an opportunity there to learn. And there's the invitation. I owe you an apology and a beer. See? Saturday, March 5th, 2022, here in the Dallas area. Sean Strong, definitely like to talk to you. Don't know if you could come down or not, but I think we're going to have fun. Dexter Bernard says, yes, I'm subscribed, and I share it a lot, most definitely. Thank you, sir. Jesus Arroyo, good afternoon, Roger. Good to see you. Good to see you in here, sir. Gabrielle says, hey, Roger, my toilet is intermittently running. That means it's leaking. I replaced the flapper and adjust the chain before I made the changes. It would go off about every 1.5 hours. No, it goes off about 3 times per day. It could be anything from the fill valve. It could be the flush valve. So the flush valve is what the flapper attaches to. When you put the flapper down, did you feel the lip on it and see if it's got any nicks, chips, anything like that? That may need to be replaced. What I would say is take pictures of it, put them up over on the subreddit, and man, you'll get some good answers and good help over there. Michael Baker, half my life, people have looked at it and said that was bad. Just saying. Mario Burkemper says, can I use a shark bite nipple to install a hose bib? Because I can't weld a regular one. Look, you can do anything you want. I don't like shark bites, especially in the wall. I would look at it, chipping it out to see what I could do, see if it's threaded. Mario, without seeing a lot of pictures, it's hard to tell you. Again, you might think about going to the subreddit, posting the pictures there, and seeing what happens. Michelle is now subscribed. I love that. Thank you very much. Sean Strong says we need more business owners. You know what? And guys, here's the deal. And that's what I love about this channel. That's what I love about the people in here. We've got such a broad cross section of the trade. I'm going to say the trades industry, but really it's more than that. We get people from around the world in here that do all kinds of different things. So to get in here and ask a question, you're going to get some good answers. Unknown James says, don't know too much about plumbing. Used to hydro mill at power plants, but I love the content. Well, number one, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And it's really funny because when I go to conferences, when I speak at conferences, I'll have people come up to me all the time and say, oh my God, I watch your channel every day. And I'm like, man, that's great. Are you getting in plumbing? Are you in plumbing or what? And they're like, oh my God, no. I would never fix my own plumbing. I just love watching your content. So it's kind of strange to me, but I got to tell you, I do have fun at what I do. Mike King says, I'm a business owner in Canada. As you saw, Sean Strong has invited you to the Discord and the subreddit. Jesus Arroyo says, loving the stream so far. Best channel I am subscribed to. Number one, thank you very much. I do appreciate that. Everybody in here got 40 something people. If you will each tell 4,000 of your closest friends, we can have like, 160 more thousand subs tomorrow. That would be wonderful. I know, I'm playing. Sean Strong, there's other kinds of plumbing. Yeah. Service plumbers. That's all there are. Everybody else wants to be plumbers. Matthew Wax is thinking about going for a residential service, non-union, since no applications at union. Would it be bad to go to a trade school first? Could it shorten the apprenticeship? It depends on what the school teaches. Here's what I would tell you first is contact the PHCC in your area. Ask them if they have a residential service company. Because my thing is, if they do, and you could go to work for them, they may pay for your training. And if that would happen, that could be very nice. Matt, the apprenticeship still requires your hours, but school might make it go smoother. Absolutely. And like in Texas, nowadays, like Texas State Technical College, you go there, they've got a fast track program to help you get to your license quicker because of the syllabus and how they do it. So, man, I'm telling you, I like the laws that have been changed here in Texas lately. Michael Strain says, hey, Roger, the main question on water spigots, how can you tell if they're threaded without crawling underneath the house? Then is there a way you can know? Number one, if it's pier and beam, man, you got it easy. We got slab. We don't get to climb under and look. My thought process here is if it's siding outside, if you can get like a small borescope or small camera to stick in it where you can see, you might be able to tell. As a plumber with experience, I can put a pipe wrench on them and kind of bump them and tell you if it's threaded or not. But you want to be very careful because if you just start twisting it, you're liable to twist your water line. Then you're going to get real mad because you're going to shut down the water for a while. Mr. Ryan Farley says, hey, Roger, master plumber from Virginia. Any good plumbing trade shows, conventions you recommend? I do like some of the PHCC shows. I like KBIZ. KBIZ just happened. What are you wanting to go to a trade show and a convention show for? I'm actually looking at, and let me ask y'all this, because there's 40-something people in here, almost 50. If I put on a trade show in Dallas, if I put on a residential service trade show, how many of y'all would come? How many of y'all would be interested? I'm not even going to say you got to come. If I put on a show, because my thought process is, one day you have some really good business owners that have done it. And I'm putting that group together already. I'm putting together a mastermind. And I've got some certain trades company owners that are doing things right, that I think they are. And I'm getting them involved in it. But also, I'm getting the word out to some social media people that teach, that I've learned from, some that I go back and teach now, to try to tell them man, y'all need to come talk to the tradespeople. So my plan is to do a conference or a trade show, a convention here in the Dallas area. Uh, and I'm planning on starting it here in the next couple of years. If I did a show like that, would any of y'all be interested in coming to it? I might even be trying to get some of y'all to speak at it. I mean, you never know. Sean says, Michael Stain, you can share a picture on the subreddit or the Discord. Might not be able to answer that. Yeah, just because you can put a picture there, don't mean we're going to be able to give you all the answers, but we might be able to see and tell. Pablo says, what would you recommend for unclogging a toilet filled with 32 baby hamsters? Man, that's a rough one. The third is in next week, probably fixing faucets and clearing drains. Actually, it's the 5th, not the 3rd. I'm sorry about that. We're looking at doing this, so y'all know, on March the 5th, Saturday. If you're a plumber in Texas and you come to it, I'm going to buy you a couple of beers. Means I'm going to give you a couple of drink tickets. You're going to have to bring a plumbing license to show you're a plumber. If you're from out of state, I'm going to give you 3 drink tickets. That's probably enough to turn Sean Strong's lights out. Erica Keating, how are we doing? Says, I'm a new plumbing apprentice. What type of plumbing is better to get into when starting out? I like the idea of working long-term at an industrial site, but I like the idea of residential plumbing. I don't know if that. Here's the deal. And Erica, I'll talk to you like I would anybody else that I was coaching. If you're just getting into plumbing, what are your long-term goals? Do you want to own your own business one day? Do you want to run a company one day? Then I start getting down to, would you prefer residential or commercial? Do you like working on houses or do you like working on big buildings? Do you prefer construction or service? Do you want to build them or do you want to repair them? And then the last one's, do you want to do union or non-union? Most unions don't do residential. So I would tell you to think about, ask yourself this question. Do you like to build things or do you like to fix things? If you like to fix things, man, residential service plumbing is phenomenal. Even commercial service plumbing. But if you like to build things, construction could help you. I like the fact that I started out in construction because then whenever I started doing service, I knew what was behind those walls because I knew how to build it. So different ways to look at it. What's anybody else think? Please answer Miss Erica. Andy says, appreciate the advice, Roger. We'll definitely watch more of your videos. Only 18. Glad I chose a trade after high school. Recently recommended it to others who are interested. I'll tell you what, Andy, and I'm going to give you a tip. And I'm going to do it because this is something that I used to teach the apprentices when I was an instructor in the union. Now, I doubt any of them did it, but if they did, they're going to love me one day. While you're starting out as an apprentice, go to work for companies that have a 401k, that have a retirement. If they don't have one, create your own. Get a place to invest in. And then what I want you to do is I want you, the next raise you get, put it straight into that retirement plan. Now, in the union, you get 3 raises per year. You get 1 cost of living raise and you get your annual union raises, but they split it up into 2 different raises. So you get, a raise in March or April and another one in November. So really that's 3 raises a year for apprentices, 2 for journeymen. So 1 raise each year for the 5 years they're apprentice, I tell them to put up into a savings account. They're starting out at about $17 an hour. They're going to make $35 when they turn out. So if they just put up $1 each time, 5 years from now, they're still making $30, but they're putting $200 a week in savings into a 401k, into an investment. Now, I'd like to see them keep it going till that number's slightly higher. But can you imagine doing that right out of high school? And Andy, the good thing about it is if you do this and you do it like I'm talking about, In about 35 years, you'll retire a millionaire because of not just the interest you're going to make, but the compound interest and how much money you're putting in. And I'm telling you, if you start focusing on it now and do it diligently, understand you don't get to stop for a while. You don't say, hey, I'm not going to put it in here for the next 5 years. You do it now and you don't ever slow down. You're going to be very happy. You will love me. Dexter Bernard says, I am 53 and I want to start out as an apprentice and move up from there. So for me, it's important for me to get all in and start studying from the UPC. Good for you. Dexter, look, I think the UPC is a great study guide. If you watch my video and do it like I talked about, it can help. Stay Lifted says plumber makes the most money out of all the trades. Here's where I'm going to argue with you just a little bit. And don't get me wrong, I think you're right. But when people ask me about getting in the trades, they say, when I get in the trades, I want to make the most money. What's the trade to get in? Now, for me, it was plumbing because I love it. But that's what I tell them. The trade that you love is the one that you're going to make the most money in. If you love being an electrician, you love the electrical work, you love electricity, the thought of getting shocked floats your boat, man, go for it. That's the one you're going to make the most money at because you're going to want to be the best at it and you're going to want to learn everything you can at it. And when you're learning everything you can, man, it is amazing. Josh Watt says, fellow plumber from Cincinnati. Hello, how are you? Stay Lifted says, Dexter, come on over to the dark side. I'm not going to disagree with you there. George Anderson says, I recently had to tear out the floor and joist in my bathroom due to moisture rot. Now I'm in the process of reconstruction, was thinking about moving the existing toilet location. Man, now's the best time to do it, brother. Mike King says, union is corrupt and self-serving where I come from. Find a good non-union company and they will match union wages and give benefits. All you need to do as an apprentice is work hard and be eager. You know, and I tell apprentices a little bit more than that. And you've probably got it included in yours, but the working hard. Man, show up to learn every day. Show up with an open, positive mindset. Show up to learn. Be eager. Be early. If you show up with that positive mindset each and every day, ready to learn, you're going to be fantastic. Stay Lifted says, Roger, let all these guys out here know that us plumbers are the top dogs in the field, making that Trump money. Man, I wish I was making Trump money. I'm not, but here's the deal. I do make a good living. And I mean, think about it, guys. I'm in the Dallas area. I've made over $100,000 a year since 2000. Since 1999, 2000. So, man, you can make what you want to. You just got to be willing to work for it and try to become the very best. That's amazing advice right there. George says, what would be your advice with closing out the existing sewer connection? Should the lawn be cut and a coupler installed in place of the T? Number one, I cap off any old lines I'm terminating. Just because I don't want anything to get in there. If I'm working under a house and we're replacing or rerouting, I'll make sure we go in to get good pipe to cap off. So hope that helps you. Line, not lawn. Yeah, I figured should the line be cut and a coupler installed in place of the T? Possibly. If you're eliminating that entire line, yes. Edward the Great says, service plumber, 8 months in, doing warranty work and learning a ton. Look, warranty work is a great place to start. I like that. Stay Lifted. Tom Peltier says, a few years ago, just gave our son a bathtub full of water. By the way, can't plunge it. So we go down to the 3 hub with the clean out. Open to see toilet paper stuck. Guess what happened? Yeah, I know what happened. Matter of fact, I shot a video about that today. Funny stuff on TikTok. Did you video it? I'd like to see it. Just saying. Good luck with that. James Brown says, yep, I'll come speak. Tom Potier says, my son apparently stuck a bunch of toilet paper down the toilet and clogged it. It does happen. Don't need drinks. Take a Texas women. Hey, there's plenty of beautiful Texas women down here. Josh Watts Says we are currently working on a workforce development group to spread the true ins and outs of the trades, working with a few local schools to share to the young ones. Josh, I like that. Where are you located? There you go. Michael Baker says, yeah, I'll be there. Service plumbing, you are welcome, Erica. Josh Watts, 100% start new construction once you learn what's in the walls. There you go. Mike King, wages in Canada, 21 for first year. We're not far behind you down here. Scale here in Dallas is 36, 37 right now. So they're starting out at 17, 18. James Brown, Raj just gave our 5 plumbers $25K each in their 401K just to keep them. It's a very healthy investment. Good for you, brother. Love your job, never work a day in your life. That's my motto. Absolutely right. Look, man, I'm not going to tell y'all it's easy, but when you love it, it is so worth it. It really is. Absolutely. Sean H says, I'm a big fan, Roger. I need some advice. When we get a heavy rain, the water rushes under the door and floods my garage. Who should I contact to put a channel drain in front of the garage? I would try to contact an irrigation company and ask them if they do French drains or anything like that. Diploma in plumbing is an A+. I'll tell you what. We don't have diplomas here in Texas, but you're right. I'm plumbing RN, watching plumbing. Man, anytime you can learn plumbing, learn to do anything by watching it, you're doing good. DJ Projug says, I came back because I love the guy who text bombed himself with a voice message. Man, I'm glad you came back. Don't know if you've heard me talk about it already. I have apologized for that hundreds of times. And if you're anywhere near the Dallas area, on March the 5th, I am throwing a plumber apology party. There's the deal right there. Not sure when exactly it's going to be or where, but March the 5th from 12 to 2 o'clock. I can't even get out of the way far enough. There you go. Owe you an apology and a beer. March the 5th, we'll start promoting it and telling everybody about it as soon as we know where we're going with it. I'm glad you came back, though. Josh Watts, that's right, Cincinnati. Tom says, by the way, started in install for most of my career, went to service, would never look back. It's definitely good to do both sides of the trades. Highly recommend it. And that's where, and Tom, that's why I started doing what I do. I'm truly blessed. I started out in construction. I got into service, but I started out in residential construction, then went to residential service. We also did commercial service. Then I started doing commercial plumbing install. Got in the union, started doing industrial. So think about what all I've done. I've done residential, commercial, service, new construction, industrial, union, and non-union. So, man, that's why I love this. I get to talk about everything I do. Adam Apocalypse says, any advice for someone about to take their journeyman? Yeah, I thought I had it out here. It's back here behind me. Get the UPC study guide, the Uniform Plumbing Code. The way I use it is go to the back, look at all the answers, go through and mark all the correct answers, highlight them, and then read it like a book for about 2 weeks before the exam. Then about 3 or 4 days before the exam, go through and cover it up with paper, read the question. Anything you're not 100% sure of the answer, highlight that question number in red. Now go back like for 2 or 3 days before your test and just read the red ones, and you'll do great. You know what? My knees are getting old. My shoulders getting old. It's tough. Marcus, if you're studying the right thing, if you're watching the right YouTube channel, looking at the right pictures, video, test sites, whatever, yeah, studying online can be a good thing. Philip Banks says, what sewer camera do you like the most? Well, I got to tell you, I currently use Hawthorne's. I love the new Milwaukee. I've actually tried reaching out to them about a sponsorship deal because I truthfully think that their cameras are amazing. They came in and did a presentation for me and blew my mind. So I like it. Yeah, if you're not a tuber turd, there you go. Johnny Carlson says, how common is it to be in extremely tight places while plumbing? It's not, it doesn't happen often, but it does happen. I'm really not claustrophobic, but I've called down and gotten in some tight enough spots that I was concerned. In fact, I got in one time. Luckily, I had a big flat blade screwdriver in my back pocket because I had shut off the water meter. Stuck the screwdriver in my back pocket. Crawled under a house, started crawling across, and started going under this grade beam and got stuck. Now, when you get stuck, my body swells up. I started breathing hard, started swelling up, started getting tight. And I'm thinking, how do I get out of here? And I remembered that screwdriver, and I'm literally digging the dirt out from under my chest so I can move. I got out. I guess you can tell. Namanasu says, Roger, what's the biggest difference in general between being a plumber in Europe and America? I've never been a plumber in Europe, so I really can't tell you. I would assume it'll be materials or depths that we bury things, stuff like that. But man, you got any pictures from over there? Namanasu, man, put them over on our subreddit at Roger Wakefield Post. I'd love to look at them, see them, and me, Sean, other people will tell you what goes on over there versus over here. Steve Arloa, my brother from the Hawaiian Islands, says, just stopping into chat to say aloha. Working, so can't chat, but aloha. Hello to you, sir. DJ Pro Jug says, sadly, about 1,500 miles away in New Hampshire, or else I'd go. I was the one who mentioned the text bomb over your phones when you first told us about it. Man, it was crazy. I mean, I had people threatening to blow up my house. I've had people threaten to burn down my business, just flat out kill me. It's been crazy, but it is what it is. Drain Medic says, don't forget there's a lot of money in poop. Yes, there is. Luis Magana, congratulations. Look, anybody passes their plumbing exam, man, that's a good thing. It's something we work hard for. It's something we try to get in and do. So I'm just going to tell you, man, congratulations. What does he do? High five and fist bump to you. Josh White says, we have been filming all phases of projects from the first dig, the rough end, final. We have a school group come every other month to check things out. Josh, that is really cool. Dexter Bernard says, started plumbing in school, but never got to finish it. So I'm going all in for residential because my wife is into real estate. So I will definitely take care of the plumbing of the houses. Good for you. Dexter, man, that is a good business plan. Josh says, Milwaukee has the best battery tools, hands down. I got to tell you, I use a lot of DeWalt too. Look, and I'm not saying anything bad about either one of them. And even Rigid. Man, there's some good tools out there, guys. There really are. Ron Lovell says, last week had a service called Frozen Pipe. Went to property where I discovered 3 split cast iron rads and 4 separate pipe breaks. Wall hung boiler broke down. Needless to say, it was a long day. Man, I bet it was. Tom says, Roger, very good chat here. Love the channel. Keep up the content. Just absolutely love it. Again, not a plumber, but have done some plumbing in the past. Again, thank you. What you learned today will help you in the future. Yes, it will. We do speak the facts. Steve says, what brand tankless water heater does your company install? We do Noritz, Navian. I'll tell you what, I don't know if y'all have seen it. The new Bradford White tankless, I love it. Muslim says, what's up, plumbers? Spencer Prescott says, hello, I'm a production worker who works 10-hour days. Watch 3 videos and have a friend in plumbing for a year. Trying to learn from studying, not afraid of long hours, and works hard. Any advice? Yeah, man, get out and get you a job in plumbing. Nothing wrong with being a production worker on a line or anything like that. I worked at Kraft Foods here for a while. You can make a good living at it, brother. Justin Huntley says, why don't you like shark bite fittings? I like shark bite, just not for plumbing. I think shark bites are good for an emergency to put on a cap or a valve or something. And when I say emergency is it goes on until the water gets shut off and then it gets taken off. And my only reason, and Justin, look, it's not that I don't like them. It's just, man, we've gone back and fixed so many freaking shark bite leaks. It's crazy. So I would just never put them in. Tom says that's awful. Why people want to burn down or blow up your house. I know, man, it's pretty crazy. I mean, death threats, phone messages. The list goes on and on and on. I could pull some up and tell y'all some of them, but it really wouldn't be worth it. I couldn't say a whole lot about it anyway because of the language. There you go. Sean says, Steve, that's a poor excuse. I'm working, still give 99% of my attention to the live. Yeah, I know. We know you, Sean. Hello from Charlotte, North Carolina. There we go. My brother, Southern Mama Drama. Jeff, how are you? Good to see you. Man, I was actually in Charlotte, I guess, about a year ago. Not quite that long, maybe 6 months ago. Went in there for a video, had a blast. Steve Arloa says, I can't believe people would go to that extreme over a text call in the middle of the night to leave threats like that. Thank God for our Second Amendment. And I practice that Second Amendment all the time. So I get it. Trust me, I get it. Just got back from a sewer job where we could get it unclogged and the line kept coming back clean. The line went 50 feet, probably all the way to the main. It was only 6 inches in downtown area. Wow. Couldn't unclog it. So my question is, was it blocked in the city main? Sean Strong, I know I'm trying. Plus my motto is excuses are for the weak. Hey, they are, but they come in handy sometimes. Mike King says, you will start to notice a secret power when you become a plumber apprentice. Suddenly your family, neighbors, and their friends want to talk to you. Man, I wrote the neatest little thing, but this is about getting in the trade. It says, all of a sudden, you're going to be cool. Everybody's going to want to hang out with you. So I'll find out one day and get in here and read that. Shark bites are emergency fittings only. Cannot stress that enough. Amen. James Brown says, right, you should be here in Minnesota last year. The Floyd ordeal, yeah. Steve Arloa. Plus, I'm just late, so technically I'm not doing any work. Good for you. Time for 3 a.m. mass apology call. Don't get me wrong. Don't think I didn't think about that. Instead, I'm going to buy people beers. What's neat though is, I did get a lot of comments like that, but I also got a lot of people replying saying, "Hey, look, man, you're trying to help the trades. You're trying to help the industry. You're trying to help plumbers in Texas." So they completely got it. Vincento Masi says, how long do you recommend an apprentice stays on one aspect of plumbing? Right now, I'm in my first year, do residential excavation, but would like to learn all aspects of plumbing. It depends on where you're at. And it depends on what your long-term goal is. Some people just literally, some people don't want anything but to do residential service plumbing their whole life. They may stay with it forever. Do it until you find something you just love. That's why I bounced around a lot. But man, look, I've had different careers. I got out and became a bartender, a cosmetologist, a massage therapist, a bouncer, a bodyguard. I always end up back in plumbing because I love what I do. So, man, bounce around in plumbing, find the different things. I've done everything, but I ended up in residential service and thought it was great. Ron Levis is trying to figure out the Discord to send photos. I'm not too good with this tech stuff. It might be easier on the subreddit. Sean, what do you think? Muslim says, what do you think of CPVC? We only use it here on TMP lines. Anything else, we use hard copper. Some people use press. Tom Peltier says, I love these live videos. My first one personally because I'm usually working, but 6:13 Eastern. It's all good. I'm home plus in between seasons. Now 55 degrees in New England today, so slow time for us. It's about 70, 75 here today. Kind of nice. Steve says, not an excuse, but I have to drive now, so literally can't be in chat. Much love and aloha. Steve, aloha to you, brother. Mike King says subreddit link does not work, so Man, watch me do my deal. Uh, I've done this once or twice, so I can find it. And I say that. Oops. No, maybe not. Oh, there it is right there. It's the Sean Strong probably already beat me to it, but if he didn't, there is a link going in right there, and I hope that one works. Let me bump back up and find my spot. Tom says, going back to love what you do. You never work a day in your life, man. Look, I'm truthfully blessed. I love what I do. Cooper says, ever work on celebrity houses? I have. Uh, yeah, I've worked on some good ones. Can't tell you who they are, but yes, I have. Alan Cooper, yes. Emerald says, I've always wondered where you plumbers take a dump if you need when you disconnect toilet seat during some work at a customer's place. Number one, I never use the restroom at a customer's house. That's part of my personal. I just don't believe in that. I take a leak down the street. Rogue says we called the sewer department, so they ran the jetter. They told us it's open, but the water was still backed up. Plunged it, and that lowered it a bit. Yeah, if they got it unclogged, there may be a blockage now in the main down where the tap is or something. I'll see if they could run a camera if you could. Like Clink says, clicking on the link below the stream. Okay, then I may need to fix that one. Did you see the one that I put in there? I'm going to actually put that one up there now. So I will go in and take this one down. Matthew, thank you for that. But I've got one in there now. So as y'all can hear, my voice is giving me a hard time today. So I'm going to go ahead and get this thing ready to shut down and get out of here. Guys, I just want to say thank y'all for being here. Yeah, I see that. Oh, wait, there we go right here. Let me find where I was at, and then I'll get down there. So facility in the back of the van is a usable restroom for most plumbers. Gatorade bottle is a great restroom for most plumbers. Yeah, never take a dump in customers' home. You know what? And I've had a plumber do that, and it blew my mind. A plumber that worked for me, he didn't last very long. Tom says, "Be professional." Amen. Beer Rabbi says, "Hello, sir. Bless you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that." Zach the Mac 510 says, "You're the man. You hiring out there in Dallas?" Yes, we are. Holy noly. Have I got some pics for that Reddit? Guys, look, man, I shot a video today on videos from TikTok, pictures from subreddit. Man, we had fun today. I've shot a lot of videos today, and it's because I'm getting ready to go to. Where am I going to? I'm going to Miami. From Miami to San Antonio. From San Antonio back home, just long enough to grab clothes and then go to San Diego. So next week's a crazy month for me. Man, there's about 2 weeks I probably won't see y'all here. I didn't even think about that. I got to start making sure y'all are aware of that. March like the 7th through the 18th. And it's probably even before the 7th. But yeah, I'll be out for a couple of weeks. Tom, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Liz Estrada says, thanks for everything, man. Thank y'all. We'll see you in the next live video. If you don't get flushed, absolutely. We sometimes use your videos in our plumbers meeting. Thank you for what you do. Thank you. I appreciate it. What's a Roger and a Dustin combo? When you're trying to replace a service panel with a broken pipe, water flowing on top of you at the same time. You know, and it's neat that you mentioned Dustin. We're both being talked about for a TV show right now together. So we're both really excited about that. Dustin's actually a good friend of mine. I really do like him. Jeff, next. Absolutely. Hi, I'm Deez. Good to see you in here. Loke says, this is cool. I began my apprenticeship 2 months ago and to have this here is really a blessing. Thank you. And thank you for being here. I appreciate that. All I can say is please subscribe, ring the bell, like the videos, but stay involved. Let us see that you're in here and talk to us. And man, love to see how it goes, how you like it. Jace Murphy says, Roger, you're a stud. My mom's still looking for a man. You're her type. Give her a ring. I like that, man. Thank you. Tom says, enjoy your trip. Be safe and stay well. Thank you. I will be here next week, guys. Let me look at my calendar real quick and I'll just tell y'all. So today's the 21st. I'm here this week. I'm here next week. The next week, I may be here on the 7th. I think it's the 8th that I head out of town. I think I'm in Miami the 8th, 9th, and 10th. I'm in San Antonio the 11th and 12th. Yeah. I fly back to Dallas the night of the 12th. I pack my clothes on Sunday the 13th, fly to San Diego, and I'm there for that week. So that's just so y'all know. These, I see that. Roger, what's up? Chandler Jones, good to see you in here. Dexter Bernard, I believe in being professional and not using people's bathrooms. Me too. James, stay well yourself. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Mr. S says, love your work, Roger. I've seen the pictures you've shared, and it's good to educate plumbers and customers what's right and what's wrong. I try to do that all the time. Thank you. Sprung Unicorn says, Roger, could you please tell city meter installers the golden rule of threaded pipe connections? My 30-minute job turned into 3 hours. Yeah. They don't always line things up, get it nice and neat, and you got to fight it. Oh, Tom, we will be posting videos. We actually shot 3 videos today. We're getting ahead. We do that. We batch. But the cool thing is I'm taking my video marketing team with me. That way they get to get out and learn things. And man, they're going to have fun too. Sean Strong says, leave a like before the show ends and check out the Discord and the subreddit. Guys, number one, Sean, thank you for everything you do. Steve Arloa, thank you for being in here. I really do appreciate each and every one of y'all getting in here. If you find value here, if this is where you can come in, ask questions, and you really do get value. If you love to voice your opinion and hear the opinions of others. If you truly love your customers and want to know how to take the best care of them. And if you just freaking love what we do here, this is crazy. But it's all about bringing value to you, value to your customers, and value to the trades community. So if you like it, if you've learned something, like they said, do me a favor. Give us a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, please subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss out on anything. Ron Lovell, happy safe travels. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Steve says, Roger, did you get my plumbing pictures I put on Reddit? Steve, I get so many in there, I will have to go back and check. But, man, I am sure that we did. Tom says, excellent. Have a wonderful night, Roger. Love the channel. Thank you so much. Joe T, you are more than welcome. Christopher Ray says, love your vids, Roger. Just got back from Miami. It was beautiful, and I cannot wait to get there. So, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Once again, thank you very much for everything y'all do. I really do appreciate it. I'm Roger Wakefield, lead AP, the expert plumber. I'll see you in the next video if you don't get flushed.